All right, and for more on this conversation, we're now joined by Eastern Cape Department of Transport spokesperson Unathi Binqose, and he joins us now via our video link. Unathi, thank you so much for your time this evening here on SABC News. Now, scholar transport really is a very important role, as you as the department play a very important role in ensuring that, learners do get to school on time and on a daily basis. But I mean, if some of your operators are saying that they are really not optimistic when it comes, to the fact that it will be a trouble-free day, first day of school. How do you react to some of those statements being made by transport operators?
Look, the first day of schooling, particularly for scholar transport, is never a trouble-free day, because remember, on the first day you will still have learners that are still looking for placement, learners that are asking for transfers to other schools, some relocating to other towns and other provinces. So we do anticipate that the first couple of days are going to provide us with a bit of challenges, but we're working very closely with our colleagues at education to ensure that at least those who are already on the database for scholar transport are provided with a scholar transport service. And we were encouraged by the high number of taxi operators, scholar transport operators, that showed up for the vehicle inspection that took place last week. For us, that was an indication that they remain committed to the scholar transport program. And we know its importance in the ever-increasing matric pass rates in the province. And we are just as committed to scholar transport as the province of the Eastern Cape and the Department of Transport in particular.
Yeah, and Unathi, what have you done as a department in the Eastern Cape to ensure that, of course, we know that there are issues and challenges that, one does come across on the first day of school. But what have you done to ensure that really there are quite minimal glitches being experienced, so that all is above board for learners to be given the necessary transport to and from school?
One of our primary concerns, particularly during the December holidays, has been to ensure that we start this school year on a clean slate, to ensure that those with outstanding payments, those payments are settled. And I understand that our colleagues have made inroads when it comes to that, and a lot of operators that have worked during the month of November in particular have been paid. And of course, people ought to understand that we are using taxpayers' money to pay for these services. So we have to ensure that due diligence is done, and we are paying for services that have been rendered. So there will be those glitches where we say to the operator, go have a look at this, correct that, to ensure that we're paying and we're using the taxpayers' money with efficiency. It's unlike paying salaries here. There's got to be a claim that is submitted before a payment is made. Even when that claim is submitted, it has to be scrutinized to ensure that we are paying, for services that have indeed been rendered. But of course, part of the things that we've done in preparation for the school year was to ensure that we take those vehicles that are contracted for scholar transport to tests, and we are pleased to announce that there was a huge turnout by operators for us, which was an indication that they indeed are committed and are with us to ensure that we improve the scholar transport service for this year.
Yeah, and when you touch on the issue around payments, and payments has always been the problem here, and it's been the issue why, in some instances, there was no transport available to learners in the Eastern Cape. And when it comes to the issues around payments, can you assure the parents of the Eastern Cape whose children do rely on this transport that payments will be done on time and have been done on time for the start of the academic year?
We can assure the parents in the Eastern Cape that we are fully committed to scholar transport. We understand its value. We understand the gap that is bridging in the problem of lack of schools in certain areas, or lack of adequate numbers of learners where schools are available. The issue of payment is strongly dependent on claims being submitted and being submitted on time by operators, we have taken a step forward last year to ensure that we remind them to submit their claims timelessly so we can pay them within the prescribed 30 days of payment. And we remain committed to that. That is why we've had officials that were working through the December holidays to ensure that those claims for the month of November are processed. So we remain fully committed to processing the payments, but we'll continue to urge operators to ensure that they submit their claims timelessly. But of course, when glitches are raised and some issues are flagged in terms of their claims, we raise those things with them timelessly, and we expect that they will be able to rectify those problems so that we can spend the taxpayers' money for the services that are indeed rendered. So those are some of the challenges that we're dealing with, and we understand that over the years, working with them and helping them understand some of the stringent measures that we have to take their claims through, they by now would and should understand that we have to undergo this process of scrutinizing the claims before payments are made. Because in the past, we've seen that there were fraudulent claims that were put forward. So we are trying by all means to screen every claim to ensure that the money that is available for scholar transport is used adequately.
And Unathi, we're just a few days from schools reopening on Wednesday. And when it comes to, all learners need to be prioritized, particularly learners who do rely on this transport from the department. But maybe perhaps if you can just expand for us a bit that, which areas are very crucial for the department to ensure that, transport is not interrupted at, some of the areas where it has been lacking for a number of years.
We firstly need to register that we have never gone into any school year with the intention that there will be learners that are left out of scholar transport. Our primary aim has always been to ensure that we cater for every learner. And this year in particular, we had noticed that there were 40,000 learners that were deserving of scholar transport, but unfortunately, due to financial constraints, we could not cater for those. That has been a heartache to us. And without making noise through the media and to the parents, knowing the potholes and the hurdles that we overcome to get this thing right, we decided to keep quiet about it, but ensure that for this upcoming year, we're catering for every learner that is deserving of the scholar transport. But we have noticed that rural areas like your OR Tambo district, your Amatole, your Jogabi and Alfred, so that is where scholar transport is needed the most. However, even in the more urban areas like your Sarabatman district, and there are some farms there, school farms and farming areas that have schools that are far, far away from where the learners stay. Those are some of the areas that have been in dire need of scholar transport. I understand that those in Sarabatman district in particular, their problems have been highly documented, but there were other challenges in areas like OR Tambo and the Amatole district, and those are the learners that are part of our priority list. Of course, we're working closely with our colleagues at Education because they are the ones who know the learners, know the schools, and know exactly the need for scholar transport. And us as the Department of Transport, we are ready to provide that service, working with operators, of course.
Unathi, thank you so much for your time. All right, that is Unathi Binqose. He is the spokesperson there for the Eastern Cape Department of Transport, of course, assuring that transport will be made available to the learners of the Eastern Cape, particularly those who are in desperate need of the transport. Of course, this follows that court order in which we also saw compelling the department to ensure that transport is provided to much needed learners. All right, let's take a quick ad break.